Hello, everyone. It's Pastor Ken with Little Church, Big Heart. Coming to you today with another Lord's Day encouragement. I'm here in my church sanctuary where I go for a little quiet time from time to time. I wanted to share with you something that I was thinking about this week that came to me during prayer. I found I love being in a small town. I love being in a small community. But of course, like anybody else, I sometimes have those desires. I have to say, I wouldn't mind pastoring a church of several hundred or several thousand. Of course, that would mean living in a bigger city, which I really don't like. I like small towns. But either way, it can be easy to lose sight of what we're doing now based on sometimes what we feel we'd like to do or what others tell us we should like to do. People tell us, as pastors, you should want the bigger church. You should want the bigger budget, and you should want to have a church with hundreds and thousands of people. Now, I'm not saying whether I truly desire any of that, but what I wanted to say was that sometimes this can spring out of a few things. It can spring out of the world's idea of what we should want, and that can give us some negative feedback when we're not there. So when we meet with other pastors, for example, somebody who has a bigger budget, a bigger congregation, I always laugh when new pastors meet each other. They immediately want to ask questions that help them to understand who stands above whom, size of church-wise. I have a funny name that I call that I won't go into here. But we can wrongly compare ourselves to others and give us the idea that there's somehow something wrong with pastoring a small church. Now, it can also come in the other way from our people. We often get negative feedback from our people. It's not uncommon, especially in small churches and rural churches. But sometimes we get positive feedback that can be a problem, that can well up pride within us. For example, having a parishioner tell you that you deserve to pastor a bigger church because you're too smart to be at that church, or you preach so well that you should be preaching at a bigger church. This week I found myself in prayer, and I was reminding myself of my love for small churches and for where God has me currently. But I found myself saying something that surprised me, and that was, Lord, if this is where you want to keep me, that's fine. And I thought, wait a minute. It sounds magnanimous, but there's also some pride behind it, as if I somehow deserve more, but I'll accept this if it's your will, God. We need to be careful of that stuff. When we hear those compliments from our people, it may be possible, it may be necessary that we learn to actually hear the hiss of the serpent behind it. Remember, our first parents were tempted to believe they deserved or needed more than God was giving them, or at least deserved. And we don't want to do the same thing. Can you find contentment in your current location, in a small church, as a small church pastor? Now, you may say, well, I'm fine with this, but I deserve more. Think about that for a second. You deserve more than being called and equipped by God to minister to people in the community, teach them to love one another, teach them to walk in Jesus Christ, and to model that Christ life to them. You deserve more than that? You deserve to do it among more people. Well, maybe not. See, the thing I want you to get this week is to find contentment where the Lord has you. Not content but true inner contentment that says, this is what the Lord has called me to. This is what I will do, and I am happy doing that without looking at others and wishing you had what they had or wishing you had more. Now, that can be hard to do. But with prayer and with time, I think the Lord can work that in our hearts. And so it's my prayer for you that the Lord will work that in you as He's working that in me. Take care. God bless.